welcome to the Q&A edition of the Cosmetics Business Podcast. I'm Amanda May.
And I'm Julia Wray. Hey Amanda, how are you? You went to press on your first issue of Pure Beauty as acting editor this month. How did that go?
Good, busy. It's been a hot minute since I've been in control of a printed edition in a long time, but it's been nice getting back into the swing of it. And it's exciting to kind of see the finished thing. This is actually the last one where Sarah was kind of at the helm. So I was just
double effort.
Carrying it through for her, so that's really exciting. But yeah, it's been good. How's your week been?
Really good. Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, Sarah is now on maternity leave.
Yeah.
So it will be me, Amanda and Alessandro alternating for the next couple of podcasts. But yeah, no, it's been a good week for me as well, covering the election in the US and also all of the changes at Estee Lauder as well, which is really exciting.
Yeah, lots of big changes. Big change of the guard.
Absolutely. And that always means a lot for the beauty industry as well when you're talking about a company that massive with that many brands under its portfolio. So should we dive right into this week's Q&As?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fantastic. So we have a question that's come in from Emil Wiltshire asking, what makes a good beauty PR event? Oh my God, we go to so many of these. Amanda, I feel like you might have some really, really good predictions here.
Where to start, where to end with this one?
Tell me about it.
It's, obviously we're very grateful to be invited to events and they are really interesting, but it's hard because we're in such a saturated industry. There's so much newness and innovation. So we get swamped with invites. I mean, I think firstly, just making sure key people from the brand are at the event.
That's a huge one for us.
Leadership, R&D, CMO, CEO, CFO, all the O's.
Every single person from the C-suite.
Yeah, because we want to hear from the people who are deep in it, driving the change, driving the innovation, the people who can really explain why this is different. Obviously, we love seeing the PRs and making those connections.
100%.
But to have tangible time with those C-suite kind of leadership people that you can't always get face-to-face time with.
Yeah, this is our opportunity to actually get to know them, to make contact with them and for them to know us and our publications as well. So it really does make a difference.
And it will get a journo there. Like having key people from the brand there is like a core thing to actually get you there. I think also making it memorable.
And that, as you say, it's difficult. It's so hard. Saturated. And I feel you have seasons as well.
Yeah.
So you'll go for a week where you're just running around, excuse my language, like a blue-assed fly, going to all of these different events. But you also have to put out news and do your day job as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously back in the day, it used to be all the Christmas events were in July. It used to be Christmas in July.
I kind of miss Christmas in July.
I know.
It's shifted, right?
Now
to
it's
September.
sort of Christmas in August, September, October. And I understand it because obviously I think for brands, there's so much stuff now, especially summer. Everything's moved back a bit, but especially in those peaks where everyone's kind of doing things in the same
and
realm.
when it coincides with Fashion Week as well.
Yeah. Anything big, any of those biggies where you're kind of like, well, teams are going to be stretched, they're going to be pulled. I think they need experiential elements to them, like something that makes it memorable and makes it different, because sometimes just coming into a room and the products are just on stands, but no one's really explaining through them or anything, it's not going to make it stick out in a journalist's mind. Whereas if there's like a workshop or, if you've got like a wellness product, but you're doing like a sound bath class beforehand, like things that showcase what it's about, which will stick in the journalist's mind.
Definitely. I feel like it reminds me a bit of when we've spoken about pop-ups in the past. And I feel like a really good PR event is like a really good pop-up.
Oh, yeah.
Like the glossier pop-up that you went to with the hands. I feel like we're still talking about the months later because it was such a standout one.
Yeah.
And again, with PR events for journalists and for influencers, you kind of need those kind of activations as well. I mean, I personally, I love a bit of a slow cam. I love, even something basic like a photo booth or just something that, and it's great for brands as well because you've got so many people there that will be putting it straight up onto their social media.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a very easy way to get the message out there as well.
Yeah.
If you've got an influencer that has, I don't know, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah.
And your branding's all over that lovely slow cam shot. It's a no-brainer, really.
I mean, people underestimate the power of something where you can throw it up in social, something fun that you can show with the activation. I mean, it is
for
really
events
tricky.
in general, right?
Yeah.
Awards, whatever.
Got to have something to it, something memorable attached to it. I mean, I went to an event for Adam Reeves Archive, which is like a hair care brand, which is all about wellness. And he's just launched fragrances, but we did a flower workshop, which included the flowers that are in the fragrance. And I remember that so vividly. And now I know, oh, those fragrances have these flowers, because it was so tangible and it was so aligned with the brand.
So much more than maybe seeing a picture in a press release of these flowers, which is also, really, that's great as well. But it brings it to life. And also you get a takeaway. I feel like sometimes a takeaway is really important, especially with regards to products. Guys, do not be stingy. We like to trial products, and this is especially important for consumer journalists and influencers as well. I know we're B2B. We tend to talk about the ingredients and the pricing and when it's going on sale, but it's also useful for us to know what we're talking about as well.
Yeah, I think sometimes people underestimate the goodie bag at events, not just PR ones, like beauty PR ones, but actual general events. Like Sephora is a great example. The Sephora trolley bag that you can only get from a Sephora event,
guys,
has a
magic.
cult status in itself.
I've got 2 of them, and I actually just take them with me for weekenders.
They are brilliant, but you can only get them from Sephora events. And I'm not joking. When I left the first UK Sephora store opening event, on my way home at Victoria Station, I had 2 people ask me where I got that bag from, because it's got a cult status.
Absolutely.
And it's like people want the bag more than they want the stuff that's in the bag.
And as you're going away, you see other people like waiting for the tube with the same bag. I'm like, hey.
It's the power of good beauty merch, really, because that keeps advertising the brand past it. But yeah, things like that. And my last thing is just food, guys.
Oh, totally. I mean, we spoke about things we like, but the bugbears as well, the food thing, 100%.
I've been to a couple of morning events and they get you there at 8:30 and there's just no food. And it's like, you've got me here early, guys. I'm starving. I can't concentrate. Please, just anything, a bit of avocado on toast, a bit of granola with yogurt, just something, please.
And actually, this is a really big thing as well, is time of day. Obviously, if it does intersect with any time where you'd ordinarily have food, make sure there's something for people to eat, as Amanda says. But also, if you have a morning event, make it first thing in the morning, make it 9 o'clock when people would ordinarily be going into their office, because again, I think that's something to remember, is that everybody has their day jobs and your event is probably going to be fantastic. However, people are still taking time away from their desks. They're going to have to make up for it in other ways, at other times of the day. So, maybe fit it into the way that they work. Have one in the morning, maybe have one at lunchtime or at the end of the day. And I like morning ones for skincare and hair care, because I feel the science behind those really needs explaining, and it's a kind of a quiet, slightly studious, elegant atmosphere to sit down and to talk about the products. Whereas if you've got something like hairstyling or fragrance, that's a bit glamorous and a bit zhuzhy, that's when to have the evening fun, lots of people in a warehouse that's done up and it looks amazing. That's the kind of event I'd expect for those as well.
Yeah, and I think also for store openings or pop-ups, what I've seen a lot of PR agencies start to do, which is really good, is they offer time slots you can go in. So rather than having everyone at one time and you can't see the space, by actually spacing people out and kind of having max capacity on each one, you can get those lovely shots that you want to get, and you can actually speak to the people you want to speak to without feeling like you're crammed into a broom cupboard. So I actually really like that. That's a really good way of kind of getting maximum people in a way that still feels like you can actually see the space and then indulge in it and speak to people.
That's a really, really good idea, because I was going to say one of my pain points as well is size. And I think this is especially pertinent for what I would describe as like PR agency days, where they want you to come in and to see all of their clients' goods. And there are so many popular London venues that when you get in there and it's you and hundreds of other journalists and you're in this old Victorian townhouse with windy, tiny stairs, it's about 28 degrees, and you're meeting all these people and sweating like wax melting. And it's just, it's horrible. I feel so sorry for other people. I have to shake my clammy hand in that atmosphere as well.
There is one, you're giving me like flashbacks to
I think maybe we're talking about the same one, PTSD.
It's like on Dean Street or something in Soho, where it's just like the most narrow place I've ever been to in my life. And there's so many events there. And I don't know why, because collectively, like, I don't know a single journalist who likes that venue. But yeah, it's a tiny staircase where you can't move past anybody.
Yeah, completely. And I was going to say my last kind of pain point is give me information. I know you're probably cutting down on paper, on USB plastic, which is good, and we want to encourage this. We've spoken about sustainability on here before, but if you're going to do that, then pre prepare your email to go out to every journalist that's turning up that day so that they have the imagery and they have the pricing and they have all the information that they're going to need when they hit the ground later that day and want to write everything up, because that's why they're there and that's why you want them there.
Yeah, so true.
Fantastic. So I think that is all for today.
Indeed. And keep those questions coming. Send us a message on the normal podcast platforms, social media, or email cosmetics@hpcimedia.com.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. In the meantime, stay up to date with the latest beauty news, trends, and analysis by subscribing to cosmeticsbusiness.com.